1975, fourth in the New Zealand Formula Atlantic Series in 1978. In his Indy debut in 1982, he crashed on turn 4. Last year, another accident forced him out early. But later last season, he won kart IndyCar races at Cleveland, Pocono, and Montreal. He has hit his stride, and he works hard to stay in top shape for victories to come.
I got to keep in shape, particularly just from the stamina point of view. It's also a personal thing with me. I like keeping in good shape, but the stronger I am at the end of a 500-mile race, less chance I have of making a mistake.
I think the happiest moment of all the job, the whole racing, is just when I get to go out and actually do the race and buckle up, and then you don't have the telephone and don't have everybody out there. You're just doing what you do best and can concentrate on that. And I think that's the only piece I really ever get out of the whole job.
The last line, very interesting. The only piece he gets out of the job is being out there where he is right now. Yeah. You ever have that feeling when you were driving?
Yeah, absolutely. Although the pressure in my era back in the mid-'70s from sponsors and supporters wasn't anything like what it is now. It's become full-time. It wasn't then.
Okay. Story of Danny Sullivan, currently in second place at Indianapolis, as they're still under the yellow. Still under the yellow here at Indianapolis. Andretti, Sullivan, and Fittipaldi. It's been that way for a while. Tremendous dicey duel between Andretti and Sullivan, but Fittipaldi lurking all the while. Jack Arute now down in the pits with Rick Mears.
Things get very slow and very quiet in pit road when your car is out of the race, and for Rick Mears, that's the way it is right now. Rick's talking to one of his crew members, explaining to him what the problem was. Rick, what eventually put you out of the race?
Some in the gearbox linkage seized up and just I couldn't shift it at all. So that ended it for us.
Is it tough to gear down after going at over 200 miles an hour for about 250 miles?
Well, no, not really. I mean, you can't do a whole lot about it, so you've got to. But the Pennzoil car was working very well. We were making some changes and kept having to start over at the back of the pack, and I had some trouble with my visor coming off my helmet, so I had to stop and fix that twice. But every time we had to start back in the back of traffic and get going again, but the car was working well enough we could work our way up. So we're looking for the second half of the race to really start getting competitive.
Well, having worked your way up from the back, you've got first-hand experience with the turbulence here. How bad is it today?
Oh, there's turbulence, but it's these cars are a little more sensitive to it than last year's cars were, but the Pennzoil car was working pretty good in it, and it was the same for everybody, so it didn't matter.
With the yellow still out, that is Rich Vogler being taken from the track hospital to the helicopter. We said he'll be flown from here to Memorial Hospital downtown, and that will take exactly 3 minutes to get him to the hospital. Fleming is out there at the track hospital with Dr. Bach. Bill?
With me is Dr. Henry Bach, who is the medical director of the Speedway. Dr. Bach, you've just examined Rich Vogler. What's the story?
Yes, Rich Vogler has some facial lacerations and contusions, and he's on his way in Lifeline helicopter down to Methodist.
Is he conscious?
He is conscious and awake.
So you're really not that concerned?
Well, right now, an initial evaluation is guarded, but until we get him down there and look at him a little bit better, we're going to call him in condition.
Okay, how about Sneva?
Tom Sneva is awake and alert and does not appear to have suffered any injuries.
So you're not going to send him downtown?
No, not at this time.
All right, thank you, Dr. Bach.
You're welcome.
Just amazing, the safety of these modern race cars at 200 miles an hour. But here are the standings, Andretti and Sullivan, and look at them dicing behind the standings right now. They're really at it again. The green flag has come out, obviously.
Interesting, those standings, Jim, show Roberto Guerrero up into third now. He finished second in the race last year, so we want to keep our eye very much on him.
In a way of just creeping up through the standings. That's the way he did it last year.
Yes.
But look at this. This is a repeat, it looks like, of what we saw a while ago until Danny Sullivan tried to pass Mario Andretti and the wild incident occurred.
Yep.
Let's see how he sets him up this time, if he can catch him.
Well, once again, he seems to have the speed to close in on Mario in the turns. Watch that Danny runs that lower line. Mario is running a fairly high line, something you'd expect from Richard Petty in stock car racing, and it's giving Danny a chance, certainly to look very aggressive, attacking down there. Danny, of course, is one of these overnight discoveries, right, Jim? He began racing in 1972. You know, he has got tremendous experience. He's made a mistake, if you could call it that, on his first effort to get by Mario. He was obviously rushed by that miscommunication with the pit. Now he's going to size this up. Obviously, that's straightened out in his mind. He knows how much race is left now.
The reason it says M.A. Andretti is because his son's in the race, and that's M.I. for Michael Andretti. But look at this. They've got the crowd really going here now. Penske in the pit of Danny Sullivan, and there the sign.
Yep.
And here the move.
All right.
Sullivan.
No. Mario cuts him off. But
let's try again.
There's that low line through the short chute. No, again. And I'll tell you, Jim, you can sense not a shifting of allegiance exactly of the crowd. They are seeing what Danny Sullivan can do against the man, Mario Andretti, acknowledged to be the best at his business. And here's Danny giving him a run for his money.
And the emotions of the crowd is a case of sentiment against the future, perhaps.
Yep. And you can imagine the ambivalence that Paul Newman must feel, incidentally, co-owning. Yep.
Here he comes.
Yep.
Danny Sullivan side by side with Mario Andretti, and he does not get caught off this time.
Yeah.
He just